I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite channel. It's on YouTube now.
I'm a huge sci-fi junkie. I have navigated virtual galaxies in the SSV Normandy, Pillar of Autumn, and the Ebon Hawk. Hearing about FTL, Faster Than Light, being released as a sci-fi indie game for less than $9, the roguelike simulation game immediately caught my eye. My previous forays into the indie game purchases include Minecraft and the Impossible game, which I consider to be worthwhile purchases. How does FTL fare as an indie title? First, a little bit about its development. It is not an exaggeration to say that this is the most hyped indie game release in recent memory. It was funded in large by Kickstarter, a website which enables donations to creative projects. A total of $200,000 was granted to this project. It's fortunate that this release isn't wandering into oversaturated genres. The game is a strategy simulation hybrid, with you helming a ship, the Kestrel, and evading a pursuing rebel fleet as you carry data across the galaxy. The last half sentence is the most plot you will ever hear. There really is no detailed storyline or characters to speak of, but that doesn't hinder the game because your main focus is on ship management, and expecting a story from this game is like expecting a plot in Minecraft. You can follow in the footsteps of legendary skippers like Commander Shepard and the venerated Captain Keyes. You'll manage the partitioning of ship power, the duties of your crew, make life or death decisions, and leave your mark on the galaxy. How you manage resources, plan travel routes, and respond to situations all leads to a variable and new experience each time you play. Usually in my reviews, I leave out the picture-in-picture camera, but I felt it necessary in this case to give viewers something to watch, because this is not much of a spectator game. Visually, you can almost count the pixels, but it's styled that way on purpose, as a harkening back to some of the earlier games that developed this genre. Audio-wise, the soundtrack is soothing and elicits a mood that makes you feel like you are in the deep expanse of space. The soundtrack really contributes to the experience of simulated space travel. In the beginning, I was so drawn in doing everything you had at your disposal. It's fascinating how simple yet deep it is to balance everything. I upgraded my ship's weapons, systems, and shields using scrap salvaged from destroyed ships. I refused to negotiate with terrorists and boarded their craft to wipe out any resistance. I watched painfully as my crew died in an unavoidable solar flare. And yes, this will happen a lot. Random events are generated by a roll of the electronic dice. And this is the largest hindrance to maximum enjoyability of this game. There really isn't any sort of pattern or skill involved in generating the best outcome from what menu choices you make. You can learn how to better manage your crew in pressure situations, learn how best to fight enemies, get a hang of the controls, and learn better resource management, but the ultimate determination to success in a lot of situations is random chance. For example, I can choose to aid a civilian ship or pass by. In one instance, aiding the ship results in resources rewarded, but in another playthrough, it may be a fake distress beacon and you get boarded by aliens and your crew gets killed. Good things happen by chance too. I can get rewarded with a new weapon upgrade just by jumping to the right system at the right time. Success or failure in the long run is determined in large part by whether you get a good string of events that happen or a bad string of events that happen. Some reviewers label this as replay value, but this is really not the case, as encounters can be quite repetitive. Anytime you jump somewhere, you know that you have to fight pirates or rebels, aid civilians, get random gear, or get damaged for no reason. It's just a random number generator that determines these outcomes. I remember programming a game with menu options and outcomes determined by chance. No, I didn't use C++ programming, I used my TI-83 calculator to do it. In summary, this game was largely overfunded. With $200,000, you think they could have done a better job making you be able to have some control over enemy encounters. For example, do you want to be renowned for making sacrifices for the greater good, or always going with the morally correct choice? Any sort of replay death is artificial. However, this is a unique experience compared to all other games coming out on the market, indie or otherwise. But someone who didn't have the $200,000 Kickstarter fund probably made another better browser game buried in a site like Congregate. The $9 purchase price is not hefty, and you can't deny that the randomness adds to the addictiveness. For example, I usually play in 2-hour stretches of time. It's worth the purchase now, and you should make a few playthroughs here and there, but the unconvinced will be better off waiting until a Steam sale. I give FTL Faster Than Light a 2.4 GPA.